Isn't it the worst when you get a birthday card and it has no money in it? There's no money in here. Welcome to The Big Idea, where we're taking a few moments to look at one big idea surrounding life and Jesus. Today, we're continuing our conversation in disappointment. I know, it sounds depressing, right? That's okay, we're gonna roll with it. I have a feeling that you've probably experienced disappointment before. Either you got sick right before a vacation, or a big game, or a party, or you got that birthday card and it had no cash inside. So disappointing. I guarantee, though, you've probably experienced some disappointment during this season of your life. Can we say COVID? It has destroyed 2020. COVID has brought us disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and you're probably tired of hearing about it. Me even mentioning this right now is probably making you roll your eyes. But I think it's important for us to talk about because we all have been impacted by it. COVID has brought upon some disappointment that happens day after day after day. Often when we have disappointment that happens that way over and over again, we start to feel hopeless. So what is hopelessness? Hopelessness is an emotion characterized by lack of hope, optimism, or passion. It's often an individual who can't see future improvement or progress in the future. This is concerning. What should we do when our disappointment leads us to hopelessness? I have got some answers for you. We're gonna look in the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah, I think, has some pretty good street cred here because he was one of the most disappointed prophets of all time. You see, Jeremiah's people had been taken captive and exiled in Babylon. While they're in Babylon, they were mistreated and they often felt unwelcome in where they were. That can lead to some serious disappointment. Not just a disappointment one time, but disappointment day after day after day. I guarantee the people of Judah thought that they were gonna be stuck there forever, and that could lead to some serious hopelessness. So what does Jeremiah do? Cue Jeremiah 29:11. I encourage you to read from 10 all the way to 14 on your own time to get the full picture. But for now, we're gonna be looking at 29:11. Here's what it says. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. This is so cool. God knew that when disappointment hit home, that we needed hope. And he said this to his people. This is crucial. During one of the most disappointing times for the people of God, God sends his prophet Jeremiah to say these exact words. I'm gonna give you a hope and a future. Because God knows that when disappointment hits home, we need hope. I'm here today to tell you that when you're disappointed, hold to hope. And I know that sounds grand and vague and kind of not helpful, but I think it is relevant to us today. Whenever we have disappointment that leads to hopelessness, it just makes sense that we would do and hold on to the opposite. Hope. So you may be asking, what hope? What hope are you talking about? We're talking about the hope of Jesus Christ. See, Jeremiah's letters were not just a promise to the people then, but also a promise to us now. Can you say foreshadowing? See, we have a sure hope that Jesus will one day return again, and that if you are a believer, you will one day get to live in eternity with him. This is a beautiful reminder that the disappointment we feel now is not the end. There's a bigger picture here. Let's take this just a little bit farther. Our disappointments now can help us grow in our faith. I'm calling this a now hope. So we have a later hope and a now hope. Our now hope says that through our disappointments, we can grow stronger in our faith. The really cool thing about this is that we're saved by our faith. We are not saved by works or deeds, but by our faith. Our later hope is that we will one day get to live in eternity with God if we are believers, and it'll be as if we had never sinned. Our now hope is that our disappointments now can help us grow in our faith, AKA grow closer to God. So when you're disappointed, hold to hope. Hope for now and hope for later. That's the big idea.